Hello everybody, Low Tier for Life here, bringing us a brand new video. We have another, or a first. I haven't decided on which one of these two I'm going to post first. Uh, Anyways, we have some news to go over. It's been a while since I've talked about news consistently. I kind of stopped doing that a while ago. But however, I want to get back into it. You guys always really like these news videos. And I do know I'm going to be a little bit late on doing this. I do apologize. It's going to probably go out the day after. Technically, this stuff got revealed today, but as you can see, I'm recording it at 10 o'clock at night. So, anyways, so this is very, very interesting. If you've seen my previous two videos, and I know most of you haven't, they got barely 20 views, I opened up some Rushtool stuff recently, and the Rushtool stuff came with, I managed to pull some Overrush cards. Those were really cool and have got to me actually really excited for these on frame cards, and they are literally just Overrush, but with the standard Yu-Gi-Oh frame and everything. We have the heroes and the villains, or sorry, rivals, that have been announced, and some other things. And the reason why I got so many tabs up here is because people have been wondering, when are we getting these in TCG? It has been confirmed we are getting these Overframe cards in Rarity Collection 5, which comes out in... why can't they just put it very easily? Releases, let's see here. Why do you have to be so mean with me? Okay, here we go. Comes out in April. January, February, March, April. Yeah, April, early April, for Rarity Collection 5. And this is going to give us not just the Overframes, but also the... I presume the serialized cards are going to be in here. They have not confirmed it yet, unless I am missing it. I'm pretty sure... Let's see here. 4 or 5 cards, yada yada yada. Yeah, it does not look like they've confirmed for a fact that the... Here they are. Yeah, they have not confirmed for a fact if the serialized cards are going to be in the... let's see here. Yeah, they have not confirmed they will be in here yet. That's going to be something that's going to be interesting. I have my own thoughts about that, and we will talk about that later. But however... It is very interesting, to say the least. These Overframe cards are not just new artwork for these classic cards. These are straight up new cards with new effects, and they're almost all really good. So we're going to talk about that. And finally, also announced for Rarity Collection 5 are the chibi arts and the stamp arts for Line that is popular in Japan. If you don't know what Line is, it's a texting app that is more popular than the actual texting thing that all phones come with. It's kind of like if you think of Facebook Messenger or something or anything like that. Line is stupidly popular in Japan. It's tried to break out over here, but it's not done that well. And one of the popular things with Line is that there are these stickers and stamps or whatever they're called, I forget what. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Had collabed with them, released their own stickers and stamps, and now they're putting them on the cards themselves. We are getting these in Rarity Collection 5, and that's going to be very interesting. These Overframe cards, they look so good. Okay, let's stop dilly-dallying and talk about the Overframes. We've got, I think, 20 to go through with the rivals and the main character cards. So, first and foremost, all these cards are also going to be available as an Ultra. Within the normal frame, the Overframe is a special rarity. These, which is something I was actually kind of worried about, because if these are going to be locked to the Overframes, that would really, really suck. But no, they are available as regular Ultra Rares as well, which is very, very cool. So, first and foremost, let's just take a look at the Overframes. We've got Dark Magician. Let's see here. Elemental Heroes. Oh, come on. What? We don't have a big zoom in on the Elemental Hero one? Anyways, we got Stardust. We got all these really just... We've got a card for every protagonist and for every rival. Although, you'll notice with the rivals, they skipped over DDD for Starving Venom. I'm pretty sure they did that purely to correspond with the Starving Venom Predaplant support that's been announced. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. Start talking about the first one here. This is Dark Magician, the Pharaoh's Servant. It's Dark Magician stat line, pretty standard stuff. He becomes Dark Magician while on the field or in the graveyard, and by the way, you can only use one of the second and third effect of him per turn, and only once that turn. So you can only use one, you can't do both. You can reveal a spell card in your hand, spell summon it from your hand. Then you can set one spell or trap card that mentions Dark Magician from your deck. As a quick effect, you can discard a spell card, destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. That's literally dark magic attack as a monster effect instead of the spell. This card's pretty solid for Dark Magician. I don't think it's going to be like completely replacing playing the original Dark Magician in a deck. But this card is so good, it might as well. The big thing is he's not treated as Dark Magician in the deck, which really sucks. I know a lot of people are really hoping one of these days Konami does give us a Dark Magician, Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, etc. that treats itself as the original in the deck, so we don't have to play the original vanillas. But Konami doesn't want to do that. So, anyways, this card's a great piece of support. It's another searcher. It's another way to like interrupt with your opponent, destroying spells or traps. It's going to be great. Is it what Dark Magician really needed? Not really, but it's going to help out. So, very good. Next up, we have, apparently that counts as clicking on it over here. Okay. We have Favorite Heroes, Shining Flare, Wingman, Light Warrior Fusion, level 8, 25, 21. Really surprised we aren't getting a retrain of Neos. I would have honestly preferred that, but oh well. We have a... this thing is so generic, by the way. A fusion monster plus a face-up on the field. This is a super poly target. This is a super poly target, and it's a darn good one. Because this thing has nothing to do with heroes. It's always treated as an elemental hero. If this card is special summoned from the extract, you can shuffle 5 monsters from your graveyard into deck, draw 2, and then permanently give this thing a 1,000 attack. This is stupid. By the way, it's also got Flame Wingman's regular effect, where if it kills something, it burns it. This card is really stupid, and is probably going to be played in like any deck that can play Super Poly to counter other fusion decks. Because literally just any fusion monster plus another face-up fusion monster, plus another face-up monster, not another fusion, another monster on the field. This card is stupid for that alone, but then it's also a Pot of Avarice with plus 1,000 attack. This thing is really good. You're going to see it be played at some point or another. And is it going to be a hero mainstay? Probably. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, more than likely, honestly, because the deck burns through its resources so quick. But yeah, this card's going to be a main super poly target. Then we got Stardust Dragon Victim Sanctuary. Stardust Dragon stats, super generic 1-tuner plus 1 or more non-tuners. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn each, and also you cannot activate them in the same chain. When your opponent activates a card or effect in response to the activation of your card or effect, quick effect, you can tribute this card, negate that opponent's card effect, and if you do, destroy that card. If your monster is tributed this turn, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special a Stardust Synchro monster from your extract. So this card's pretty decent, I would say. I don't think it's great, but it's good. It's like good enough to see play every now and then. When your opponent activates a card in response to your thing, you can tribute this, negate that, and then you still get your thing off, and then later on, at any point in the turn, if you tribute a monster, you can banish it, summon a Stardust Synchro. Very good card overall. I think it's going to obviously see play in the Stardust Synchron deck and stuff, but that deck has such a tight extract. It's not. It's going to be really hard to fit this thing in there. So it's viable. It's viable, playable, but not everybody's going to play it. Next, we have number 39, Utopia, the Envoy of Light. Light Warrior exceeds effect 2,500, 200. Well, it's all warded. It's Utopia stats. Cannot be destroyed by battle except with a number monster, which is actually like kind of relevant. Numbers aren't that actually like popular anymore, except for a few here and there. Quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, target a monster you control. The first time it is destroyed by battle or card effect, it is not. When the second attack of this turn is declared, you can make this card gain 2,500 attack, and if you do, it gains this effect. When it destroys a monster in battle, you can spell summon it to your field. I don't know why Utopia is Goyo Guardian here, but he is, and he becomes a 5k Goyo Guardian at that. Very cool card, very interesting. I think it's going to see experimentation and play for the decks that can play it, that can slot it in. I could see like Ryziel playing it as a one-of, something like that. It's an interesting card. Moving on to one of the cards I'm most excited for, Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon of the 4 Heavenly Dragons. Oh boy. So, it's Odd Eyes Dragon stats, yada yada yada. It's got Odd Eyes Pendulum's effect, but you can do it during your main phase. So during your main phase, you can destroy this card, add one Pendulum monster at 1,500 or less from your deck to your hand. Also for the rest of this turn, unless you Pendulum summon after this effect resolves, you cannot activate monster effects on the field. So this is a very interesting card because I've seen a lot of debate on whether or not it's a good card for Pendulum decks, and a big thing that's going to hold this card back is the fact that TCG does not have Electromite. This card heavily, just with this effect alone, conflicts with Beyond the Pendulum. Because Beyond the Pendulum negates your scales until you Pendulum Summon, and this negates your monster effects on the field until you Pendulum Summon. Now, that being said, this does mean that you... it encourages you more to do the double Pendulum effect of, like... I forget what that one card is. It's a Zark card where, like, oh, if you summon a Pendulum monster that was an extra Pendulum monster, so a Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, Link, whatever, you get to get a second Pendulum Summon. It heavily encourages that. It heavily encourages the second Pendulum effect of the DDD level 3, Link 3, which this could actually be played in DDDs to some degree. It searches Kepler and stuff. But again, that monster effect blocking really sucks. Really hinders it. This is going to be a different story if we ever get Electromite. But that's... TCG's hellbent on not giving us Electromite, so who knows. That being said, though, this card is amazing for most Pendulum decks. I'm very excited to see what it can do for a lot of the decks out there. I saw somebody say it conflicts with Astrograph, which makes no sense to me because Astrograph activates in hand and resolves on the field. So you pop this, you search, Astrograph effect in hand, chain on the resolution, special summon it, and you still should get the search because it activates in hand, and this just stops activating effects on the field. I don't see why this would stop Astrograph's search effect. It's all one effect to special summon and search. Anyways, monster effect, it's Ice's effect for the most part. This Pendulum Summon card gains these effects, gains attack equal to the difference between the two scales in your Pendulum Zones by 300, and then any battle damage your opponent takes from battles involving this card is doubled. If it's destroyed, you can add it to your hand, and if it's destroyed by your opponent, you can special summon it. Really, just a good card overall. I like it. I can't wait to play around with this card. I need it. Then we have Decode Talker Integration, Decode Talker stat line and everything. If this card is in the extra monster zone, by the way, you can only use the second effect once per turn. If this card in the extra monster zone gains 500 attack for every other Link monster on the field and in the graveyards. Also, your opponent cannot target it with card effects. This is a very interesting monster for Code Talkers right there, and Cyber's pile in general. Quick effect: you contribute a monster this card points to. Send one Cyber's monster from your extract to the graveyard, and then this card can make 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase this turn. Very interesting card. I like it a lot. It definitely replaces Decode Talker for a few people who are still playing it in Code Talker, like the dedicated Code Talker decks. But, oh boy, I don't know how much it's going to get played in the other decks, but I still really like it. This thing can get big so fast. It's so big so fast. Next up, let's talk about the rival cards. We got the Blue Eyes, which is probably going to be the most expensive one of these bunch, because this card, They did amazing with this artwork. Look at this. It's just so freaking cool. Blue Eyes White Dragon, the White Phantom Beast. Blue Eye stats. Then this card is added from the deck to the hand or your monster stored by battle. You can reveal this card in your hand, special summon it. If it's special in front of hand or deck, you can destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Also, you can only attack directly with Blue Eyes for the rest of the turn. When a card or effect is activated, it targets this card on the field. You can discard a card and negate that effect. So if you notice, this card does Burst Stream of Destruction, while Dark Magician does Dark Magic attack. So they do their signature attack cards, which is really cool. Giving Blue Eyes a searchable, playable Regeki is really, really funny. I am kind of scared to see what people do with this card. The fact it's... this card's powerful. This card is very, very strong for the deck. And it even has targeting protection, which is also really good. Very good card overall. Here's a funny one. Okay, so I am very mixed on this card, purely because it feels like they tried to cram everybody on there and they couldn't. And because they couldn't, it just... It feels crowded. It feels feels busy. I would probably appreciate it a bit more if they could actually fit Blackwing on here. Is that every Signer Dragon with Blackwing? If we had Blackwing, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I thought there was a 7th. No, it's 6, right? Because 5Ds and then they're like, no, there's a 6. So yeah, kind of funny they put Livestream Dragon over Blackwing Dragon here, but I guess all of these are at least playable in their archetypes. 4 of these 5 have been like relevant at one point or another, so you know what? I can't blame them. Although on the other hand, this should have been a Red Dragon Archfiend card, because last I checked, it's survival things, right? So where's Red Dragon Archfiend? Anyways, Crimson Dragon Quetzalcoatl, level 12, 0/0. It's Crimson Dragon's effects stats line. You know this. If it's Synchro Summon, you can spell summon as many Dragon Synchro monsters from your graveyard as possible, and then you cannot summon for the rest of the turn. Well, spell summon for the rest of the turn. Gains attack equal to the total original attack of all other Synchro monsters you control. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can return one other Dragon Synchro monster you control to the X deck, and if you do, negate that effect. That is a hard once return, of course, but still really stupid. Is this card good? It's probably the weakest of the Crimson Dragon varieties. I would say the actual Crimson Dragon is still probably the best, followed by Ultimate Zolkin. And then this, I don't know, I could see a funny OTK with it, but you're going to have to load up your graveyard while synchro climbing with nothing but dragons and stuff. So, I don't know. This could be a really funny card for Red Dragon Archfiend, actually. Like, oh my god. that's something interesting. We'll see what happens with it. I'm excited. Here's probably my most excited card, though. Like, in terms of, like, actual, like, what it does for the archetype. Cyber End Dragon, the Decisive Strike Dragon. Light Machine, it's Cyber End Dragon stat line. But this card is also a Super Poly target. 3 machine monsters of 2100 more attack. Now you might be going, okay, what do you mean it's a Super Poly target? How often are you going to be staring down a board of 3 machines with 2100 or more attack? Activate Clockwork Knight. Everything becomes a machine. Activate Super Poly. Fuse away the opponent's board for this thing. Like, I don't know what else you want me to say. That's really stupid. This card, like, honestly makes me want to, like, main deck 3 Super Poly, 3 Clockwork Knight in Cyber Dragon now because of this. If it's Fusion Summon, you can, using only light monsters, so, you know, you lose out on the Super Poly thing if you lose out on this if you Super Poly it. Unless you're facing off against a light deck, I don't know. Anyways, you can pay 4,000 life points, add 1 limiter removal from your deck to your hand. If this card attacks a defense position monster and inflict piercing battle damage, this card, whose current attack is higher than its original attack, can make a second and third attack during each battle phase. Okay, so what's also nutty about this card? If you Fusion Summon this thing with Power Bond, it comes out with 8k. You're taking 4k at the end of the turn. Then you search limiter removal, paying 4,000 life points. You can then plop limiter removal on this, make it 16k, and swing for 3 times with piercing. Unless your opponent has something to stop it, or any kind of interruption, that's game. This thing is freaky, and it's very, very, very on brand for what Cyber Dragon does and what Kite would do. Not Kite. God, I can't remember his name. I'm thinking of Kite. I know his name in Japan was Kaiser. I'm totally blanking on his English name, though. The guy who played Cyber Dragon. Zane, that's what it was. Zane Truesdale. Yeah, this is totally something Zane would do. Heck, I'm pretty sure he did do it a few times in the anime. Speaking of Kite, though, we have Neo Galaxy Eyes, Photon Dragon, Voton Howling. It's got Neo Galaxy Eyes' stat lines and everything. And this card, I'm very excited for, but also very scared of, because this card... Okay, so... You'll see. Okay, so you can once per turn you can exceed summon this card by using 1 rank 8 exceeds monster you control, transfer its materials over. If it's exceeds summoned, you can take 1 photon monster from your deck and either special summon it in defense position or attach it to this card as material. Really good so far, I love it. Quick effect, you can detach 3 materials from this card, tribute 1 other exceeds monster, and if you do, negate the effects of all other face of cards currently on the field until the end of the turn. So, yes, I know that's what Neo Galaxy Eyes did if it was exceeds summoned using a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, but the fact is it's a quick effect, and it's a tribute. Okay, so I can already see people doing shenanigans to summon this on the opponent's turn, and then locking your opponent out of being able to play the game. Now, granted, it's all what they currently have, but that can get very powerful very quick, and I don't know. I hope it's not going to be broken, like broken, but it's still something that, like, that effect, I don't like that it's a quick effect. That should have been during your turn or something, but you know what? You gotta detach 3 materials from it and tribute another Exceeds monster. Maybe it won't be that broken. I'm just saying, I've seen so many of these cards that say negate everything else on the field, get banned and stuff. Granted, it doesn't stop your opponent from playing more cards, but you do it at the right moment. Yep. Moving on, we got the new Starving Venom Fusion Dragon of the 4 Heavenly Dragons. I'm guessing we're going to get one for each one. So that's Odd Eyes and Starving Venom. I don't believe we have any others. I want to double check. 4 Heavenly... No. So I'm assuming we're going to eventually get a Clear Wing and a Dark Rebellion, hopefully. Anyways, Starving Venom stats, 2 Dark Monsters on the field, all the same shenanigans. This card's always treated as a Predaplant card. You can only use the first and second effect once per turn each. If it's special summon, you can target another face-up monster in the field, change its attack to 0, negate its effects. Also, its attribute becomes dark. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can fusion summon 1 Dark Fusion monster from your extra deck using dark monsters on the field, including this card. I believe you can use either monsters on the field. Granted, it does not say, but God, it would be nice if it did. Otherwise, why would it make something dark? Anyways, this card's very interesting. Don't know how good it is, but it's definitely something that can help Predaplant. And along with the other new support, it's going to be interesting to see what it does for Predaplant. Finally, we got Borolo, the Liberator Dragon. Which I love how it's got the rockets flying around it, which is so cool. It's got Borreload stat lines and arrows, everything. The original Borreload. Once per turn. Oh yeah, you can only summon it once per turn. Once per turn during the battle phase, you can place 1 monster your opponent controls in a zone, discard points to, and take control of it. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. This is basically the original Borreload effect. Once per chain, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target a monster you control, destroy it, and if you do, special on this card. So this card, as you might notice, it does not have any protection effects. Every Borreload Link monster has some form of protection, whether it be targeting, destruction, battle protection, stuff like that. Liberator Dragon does not have any of that, but to make up for it, he can just summon himself every turn. It's really funny. That being said, is this card really all that great for pure Rocket? Honestly, not really. It's not what Rocket needs. Rocket needs more stuff to get on field. It needs ways to actually be able to do all that. I'm curious if the targeting from the graveyard can cause a Rocket effect to trigger. Because their effect triggers whenever a Link monster targets them. That's interesting. I wonder if that can do that. But anyways, yeah, this does seem really good though for just, good old freaking Dragon Link. So I do also want to briefly talk about the Grandmaster Rare, as they are called. This is the Grandmaster Rare. This is the serialized card. As you can see, it's got a special foiling and everything. It's the Overframe, but it's got like this like Egyptian font all over it. And then on top of it, it's got the serialized in the bottom left, instead of having it on the artwork somewhere, which is kind of nice. This reminds me of a friend of mine at Grand Archive today. He freaking pulled the CUR Alice, and I'm so jealous. $3,000 card right there. It's going to be interesting to see what these collector's items go for, these Grandmaster Rares. And they're saying there's only going to be 100 per card, numbers between 001 and 100, making them some of the rarest cards in the game. There's what it looks like there, except without the serialization. Oh, wait, that's a regular Overframe. Here's the serialization one here. Obviously, this is a test print because it's got XXX instead of 000 or 001 or something. Which actually, this might be actually considered one of the more like rare stuff in the game. If anybody ever like gets these out of Konami's office somehow, oh my god, can you imagine? But anyways, it's gonna be interesting. So far, TCG has not confirmed we are getting these. They have only confirmed the alt arts, the overframes, and stuff like that. They have not confirmed the serialized cards. I'm going to be 100% honest. I personally do not like serialized cards, mainly because it attracts investors and scalpers. And I don't like either of those people getting into card games because they don't actually care about the game. They just buy up stocks and stock. Did I actually just seriously say stocks by accident? They just buy up stock and hold on to it, hoard it, and try to sell it. I've seen so many videos, so many pictures of Pokemon scalpers who have rooms full of product, and it's ridiculous. I hope that does not happen with Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Does have the name brand recognition and the nostalgia bait to it. God help us if they ever print a Dark Magician Girl as an Overframe and a Grandmaster Rare. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if they do print these over here. I'm hoping also Overframes aren't so hard to pull they are borderline impossible. I want these to be somewhat accessible. I don't want them to be so hard to pull you never see one. I think back to the original Starlight Rares. The original Starlight Rares were like one per case, if that. It was ridiculous. I only ever pulled one, and it was out of a random Walmart pack. And of course, I was unlucky enough to pull the freaking cheapest one. It was it was a trap card featuring the Dragon Rollers, if I remember right. I don't remember. It was like a $40 card. But it's I don't want them to like make them that hard to pull. Like, okay, take for instance the Overframes I pulled out of the Rush Tools. I pulled one out of the main set, and then two out of the special set dedicated to Overframes. So that makes sense to me. One a box, one every other box, something like that. Probably about the same pull rate as a Starlight Rare. That would be fine. So I don't know. I don't want them to be so hard to pull that you just never pull one. But I also know I'm in the minority with that. I'm still very excited for these. They're releasing a lot of them. Did I pull up the picture, the one with all the other cards? Darn it, I don't think I did. So, along with the unique cards for Overframe, they also announced, let's see, here they are, reprints. They also announced a bunch of cards that are reprints in Overframe. So we've got Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, Good Old Shooting Quasar, I forget which number it is, but it's one of the Utopias. We've got Light Zark, we've got Dominus Purge, Super Poly, Mirror Jade, Kurikara, Firewall, the Link 6 one, I forget his name, Singularity Dragon. And then for the Rivals one, we've got Dominus Impulse, Evil Zark, just so many good cards. Poor Ruxin. Just, good lord, the Chaos Angel one's probably one of the best looking ones. Personally, me, I want both Zarks. I would also like this, and this. And this is really cute too. Really going to be interesting to see the pull rates on these, how hard they are to get, and what their prices end up settling at. It's also going to be interesting to see if Konami still censors any of these. Like, let's say they do a Dark Magician Girl one. Are they going to censor her cleavage and stuff like they do with the TCG art? I would hope not. I don't want these pretty cards to be ruined by censorship. I'm so sick of them doing that. We're not kids. Kids barely play this game. Heck, I've tried to get my nephews into it. They are not interested. It's something I'm worried about with that, but we'll see. Especially with the serialized cards. Can you imagine with that if like they did that? Ugh, it would suck. I've also seen some debate on whether or not they should make it so there's 100 in total of the serialized cards, counting both TCG or if it should be and OCG, or if they should split it. So, like the English version, there's 100 of them, and then there's 100 Japanese ones, or if there's like 50 Japanese, 50 English. I personally prefer both TCG and OCG get 100 each. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see what Konami does with this. If anything has told me the past couple of years is that Konami has a tendency to screw things up. So we'll see. So anyways, what do you guys think about these and everything? Rate, comment, subscribe, and let me know down below. And yeah, check out some of my other videos. Peace out. Goodbye. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider rating, commenting, and subscribing. Sharing the video helps as well. If you especially really like it, please do consider being a channel member. Every little bit helps out. And hey, also why not check me out on my other social media pages. Thank you and have a great day.